Hello, welcome to my video for computer science at Hawaii Pacific University. Let's jump right into it. Today I'll be working with Excel to clean up some data using the trunc function. I'll be showing you how to shorten age values, financial numbers, and measurement data. Before we begin, I want to talk a little bit about what truncating actually means. Truncating is when we cut off the decimal part of a number without rounding it. In Excel, the trunc function helps us clean data by removing extra digits we don't need. By default, Excel will truncate a number down to the whole number unless we tell it how many decimal places we want to keep. After you type the cell reference, in this case A22, the number we want to shorten, you follow it with a comma. That comma tells Excel how many digits you would like it to keep. So whatever number you put after that comma controls how much of the original number stays. In this example, you'll see we use 2 and 4. Now that we know how trunc works, we're going to use it to clean up the ages. It trims off the extra decimals, so we're left with a neat whole number. For today's purpose, we will be working in Microsoft Excel. I've set up a simple age sheet with 3 columns: A1, exact age, B1, truncated age, and C1, rounded age. The colors I highlight will keep everything clear and easy to follow. Today we will be using the age 18.6834. Now you have a couple of options. You could trunc it to just the whole number, or you could round it. But think about it. When you tell someone your age, you don't round up. You don't say 19 just because the decimal is above 0.5. You usually just stick with the number of full years you've actually completed. This is why in this case, using trunc makes the most sense. It gives you the age as a whole number without any rounding, which matches how we naturally report ages. Now let's look at cleaning up dollar amounts. Let's imagine your company owes a bill and the total comes out to $283 and all of those cents. Now in Excel, you can use trunc to clean this up. For example, if you want to show whole dollars, trunc cuts off the extra decimals. But in real life, you would never not owe the cents. That's when you use the trunc function and use a comma after the cell reference so that you get the full amount you owe without all the extra cents that doesn't actually come into play. For our final simple truncation, we will be looking at measurements. Let's imagine you measure something and it's 5.5385 meters long. Now you have 2 ways you can apply this in Excel. You could truncate to 1 decimal, which is the best option to do because that'll get you to 5.5 meters, which is probably the most accurate. Or you could truncate to a whole number. When you truncate to a whole number in this case, you would only get 5 meters, and half a meter could make a big difference in whatever you're measuring. Let's apply trunc to something practical. A monthly budget. Let's look at a simple monthly budget spreadsheet. Here I have categories like rent, groceries, utilities, transportation, entertainment, and miscellaneous. In the actual expense column, you'll notice numbers with cents, like $368.75 for groceries, or $95.20 for entertainment. In your spreadsheet, you're also going to add a difference column. This shows how much over or under budget you actually are. You're going to minus your actual expense versus your planned expense. For example, we planned to spend $150 on utilities, but we actually underspent and only spent $142. Looking at the difference column, we can quickly see whether we went over or under budget for each category. To make these numbers easier to read, I used the trunc function on the difference values. Instead of typing the formula for each row, I applied it to all the categories at once using Excel's drag and drop feature. This instantly gives us clean whole number values for each category. Now you can easily glance at which categories went over budget and by how much without getting distracted by cents. That's a wrap on cleaning data with the trunc function. Today we learned how to simplify ages, money values, and measurements to make our data cleaner and easier to read. We also apply this to a real-world scenario, a monthly budget, so we could simplify expenses and quickly see where we went over or under. Trunc is a simple tool that keeps your spreadsheets organized and easy to understand. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.